with Germany defeating Scotland 5-1 to open up this year's European Championship. We had a goal from Florian Wirtz, had a goal from Jamal Musiala, penalty slotted home from Havertz. Fulkrug was able to get on the goal sheet, and then Emre Can, who actually 3 days ago was not even on the squad, now he's scoring a goal in the opening game. And Scotland got an own goal through Rudiger. That's how they managed to get the one goal. Obviously, huge domination. Even the stats show it. 20 shots to 1 for Scotland, 10 shots on target to none for Scotland, 73% possession to 27% for Scotland. It was just a nightmare game for Scotland. They really did not get a foot into it. They never really had any sort of belief. Even from the first moments, the first kickoff, a few passes get made, and Wirtz, I think it's Toni Kroos that's able to find Wirtz in behind. Now, it ended up being offside, yes, but it kind of showed what kind of game it was going to be. It was all Germany, and I'm not going to lie, there was a lot of things I did not like with the way how Scotland set up. First of all, Germany, look, at the end of the day, as poor as Scotland, possibly could have been, at the end of the day, you have to, your players need to show up. There's huge pressure on them, and their talented players need to show up. And boy, Jamal Musiala, that was just sensational. He was unbelievable the entire game. His ability to retain the ball, his close control, his close dribbling. He was phenomenal, Jamal Musiala. Florian Wirtz, he was very good. He made those late runs from midfield that really gave the Scotland backline troubles when he was going in behind, or when he was finding the little pockets right in front of the back five-ish, that space left between the midfielders and the center backs. Him, Gundogan, they took advantage of that space on that second goal. Gundogan finding the pocket in between the center backs and the midfielders, was able to receive the ball in that pocket and drive up and create space for his teammates. It was just sensational. I think Scotland, there was a lot of things that they did wrong. Number one, Steve Clarke. It's clear that Scotland play a compact type of style, play a back five, keep it very, defensive. But they played the back five, but the midfielders were not compact. They were not covering space between the center halves. They were leaving huge gaps between the center backs and the midfielders. And the back line was playing ridiculously high for a team that's known for playing a low block. That was a pretty high line, and there was no pressure on the ball too. That's what it made it even worse. And you had Toni Kroos. He could have ate breakfast before he had to make a pass. Toni Kroos, absolutely brilliant today. He was sensational. But he could have took a dog on a walk before he had to, he had so much time to receive the ball, to touch it, to look left, to look right, to scan the field. He could have scanned the field multiple times before. There was no pressure on him at all, which was very disappointing. They let him dictate wherever he wanted to go. He got to choose. He got to choose how fast he would. He had time. He was able to look left, look right, look back right, and had enough time to launch a cross-field diagonal ball. He was just picking them apart and it's mainly because there was no pressure on him. Shea Adams, defensively, that's kind of, he's supposed to be that player marking the Toni Kroos and stuff. No physical presence from Scotland too. That midfield of McTominay and McGregor, they just looked out of sorts all over the place. Andrik, he was that enforcer kind of. He had a few, few like not nasty, but like a few like aggressive moments, which is something you need. You need that kind of player in midfield, and he provided that for Germany. Scotland did not have that nastiness to them at all. They weren't aggressive. They were taken aback. There was so much space that they left open, and then I mean, once, by the way, it was always going to be a nightmare scenario if Scotland were to go down early, because they're not really, they're used to, they want to observe the pressure and potentially find something based on trying to find the breakthrough through transition and all that, which is why I think he played Shea Adams. That's why I think he started Shea Adams over Shankland, because he wanted, Shea Adams has the pace to threaten in behind and transition, but Scotland didn't really get the ball in areas, and when Scotland had the very few opportunities to attack, they rushed it. They played in a long ball into the box just to get the ball into some sort of area to be a little threatening. They didn't really play to the strength of Shea Adams, Rudiger, and Jonathan Tah. We came out of this game and we don't even know if that's a solid defense, because the combination, Manuel Neuer, he's been made a few big mistakes over the past few weeks. And it's we want to see like how the center back partnership is, how Manuel Neuer's. They weren't tested at all. One shot for Scotland, and I don't even know if it was a shot. I think he was just. I believe I forgot who got the nick on it, but I believe he was just trying to get the ball across the 6-yard area to get to some. But it ended up deflecting and it counted as a shot. But other than that, Scotland did not have a single shot the entire game, which is crazy. I think Germany is just very talented. I think this is a little bit, this is Germany. This is a message for some of these other teams, for the Frances, for the Englands, for the Portugals, that Germany is a legit team. Because again, I say this, at previous international tournaments, what's gone wrong is that opening game for Germany. They have the last 3, international tournaments, they've started off losing their opening game. This is quite the opposite. This is not only a victory, Now, a 1-0 shaky victory, that would have been like, okay, at least, Germany, they were able to get, to withstand the pressure and, get out of there. But this was just complete and utter domination. And by the way, they got the red card, but the domination occurred from the first minute. I mean, it was pure domination. I think the red card just made that second half a little bit more dull in the fact that, okay, Germany knew that they've basically had this game. Now they just need to, sit tight. They don't do anything stupid. And Scotland kind of had to defend for their entire lives that second half, because, again, third place teams do move on, and they need to protect the goal differential, which still got away from them at the end. But I just think Scotland made too many. I think not Shea Adams. I think I don't understand why Toni Kroos had multiple opportunities to play that long diagonal ball to Kimmich. I don't know why you play a back 5 and you don't have somewhere in the vicinity of that, of that right back, of those diagonal balls. Andy Robertson on that side, he's tucked in, he's right next to Tierney. He's allowing Toni Kroos to play that ball. It was multiple mistakes, by the way, on that. I'm talking about the first goal of the game where, number one, the first goal of the game. Number one, you let Toni Kroos have time and space on the ball, so he's able to scan left and right and then go back to the right, and then he still has enough time to play a cross-field diagonal ball, and Joshua Kimmich is able to receive, and Joshua Kimmich has no player with the near side of him because Robertson is tucked in right next to Tierney, which I don't understand. If you're going to play a back 5, you need your wing backs to play, to defend the wide players, and Robertson was just too tucked in, and that led to the first goal. That second goal, again, that pocket of space between the midfielders and the center backs, just too much too much of a gap there. Gundogan was able to find space in the pocket, turn, receive the ball, and then create space for someone else, and ended up leading to, or playing a wonderful ball to playing Havertz in behind. Havertz ended up assisting Musiala. It was, and then the third goal is a freak penalty, a red card, anytime, any day. You can't go in two-footed. It's a dangerous play, and yeah, I mean, there's no arguing there. Now Scotland, it's key. They need to put this game behind them because, well, Steve Clark. I heard him talking after the game saying 4 points is still the goal, and yes, I think that's still reasonable for them. 4 points, I still think and that's still gonna be 4 points is gonna be important because 4 points probably will most likely get you through, even with this goal differential. I don't think 3 points, if they finish third and have 3 points, I don't think that's going to be enough. I do think they need to, they can't lose any of these two games and they need to get a victory. But it's going to be a massive. But they've, at the last European Championship, they were able to put back a pretty poor result in the match they won. And they went on to draw against England at Wembley. So they've shown they can emotionally fight back. But again, it's a difficult thing to do.